skinny, frightened lad, no more than 17. The sorriest excuse for a man that you have ever seen. But now I am a thornbird and as proud as I can be. Colonel Thornbush made a man out.
This ring is a symbol that you are my husband.
This ring is a symbol that you are my husband.
I want to give you two a little something from Mother and me, just to bring you a little extra happiness.
This is Judy Benjamin.
Oh, that's for the future, not Lord and Taylor, you know.
All her life, she got everything she ever wanted, and a few things she didn't.
I did join the Army, but I joined a different Army. I joined the one with the condos and the private rooms. What? No, really, my recruiter, Jim Ballard, told me that...
I don't care what your lousy recruiter told you, Benjamin. Now, I'm telling you, there is no other army.
Excuse me, sir, is green the only color these come in?
Come on, move it, Benjamin. I don't want to see you stop running unless you collapse, faint, or puke.
Has anybody ever died from basics?
Personally, I think you've gone temporarily insane.
That's what we told everyone. He said that you'd had a collapse and you were in a mental home. People think I'm in a mental home?
I want to wear my sandals and I want to go out to lunch. I want to be normal again.
I just can't believe that you were in this army.
Well, if I knew you better, I'd show you my dog tags.
How much better?
Glory, glory, I'll be falling through the sky. Glory, glory, I am not afraid to die. Glory, glory, I'm as proud as I can be. Colonel Thornbush made a man out of me. Glory, glory, I'll be
Goldie Hawn is
the
Private
sky.
Benjamin.
Glory, glory, I am not afraid to die. Glory, glory, I'm as proud as I can be. Colonel Thornbush made a man out of me.
Welcome to Dorky Now. My name is Sonia Mansfield. And is green the only color these come in? Joining me is my podcasting sister from another mister and the co-host of Dorky Now, Margot D. Hello, my friend.
Hey, can the Army afford some curtains or something? I'm going to be up at the crack of dawn here.
We are dorking out about 1980s Private Benjamin. We are doing this one because we just watched Glass Onion, the Knives Out mystery, and we were both kind of struck by how much Kate Hudson looks like her mother in this movie. It's like the most Goldie Hawn she has ever looked to me, and we thought it would be fun to do Private Benjamin. It is the first movie written by Nancy Myers.
Woo!
That's pretty rad. And then Charles Shire and Harvey Miller also worked on the script. It's directed by Howard Zeff, I think. And he directed My Girl, by the way. Such a fucking tearjerker. And this one stars Goldie Hawn, Eileen Brennan, Armand Assante. Who else have we got in there? Mary Kay Place, Harry Dean Stanton for like a minute. Everybody everybody is somebody in this movie. Albert Brooks, PJ Souls, Craig T. Nelson, like Hal Williams. There's so many people in this movie. Did you see this movie in the theater?
No. I wouldn't have been interested. I think I saw it on HBO or something when I was young.
Yeah, same. I saw it on like HBO or something. Surprisingly, my mom did not take me to see Private Benjamin when I was like 9 years old.
No, it was around this time I think my mom took me to see The Verdict. For like my 11th or 12th birthday. I was like, no, that's what I want to do for my birthday. She's like, all right.
Yeah. And then, and you walked out and you're like, well, that was very adult. And Paul Newman, hubba, hubba.
Hubba, hubba.
But this movie was really marketed as like a fish out of water, like rich girl joins the army movie, which it is, those things. But I actually think it's way more than that. Let's just start at the beginning. Her whole Judy Benjamin, that's Goldie Hawn. Her whole thing is she just wants to like get married. She wants like a nice house, nice clothes, a maid, and she just wants to get married. And so she's marrying Albert Brooks,
who's so cute in this movie.
He's like, but he's also like all the other men in her life, he's a little dismissive. She's arm candy. Yeah, like that's her thing. She has only trained to be pretty and be someone's wife, and they're getting married. It seems like they're very happy. She seems excited, and yeah, I guess he's a little too excited because he dies while they're having sex on their wedding night. He has like a heart attack and dies or something. And it's so shitty because then they say she's been married once before for 6 weeks. She's at the funeral and immediately people are like, you're going to have to get back out there. It's like,
yeah, because she's 28, Sonia.
She's 20. She's washed up.
Chop, chop. Got to get it done. So what? He just died. Figure it out. And I'm like, didn't he leave her some money? Maybe like, do we like wait till after the funeral to bring this up to her?
Immediately they were like, what is she gonna do now? She's only, what did he say? I'm gonna hire her as my receptionist. She's only trained to be a wife. Like all. I'm just like, it's the funeral, you asshole. But it's a movie, and
right.
They have to move the story along. But it's really sad. Like she says, I've never not belonged to someone.
Since like kindergarten, she had a boyfriend in kindergarten. Yeah. And her father at her wedding, she's trying to talk to her father, like have a moment with him because he gives her like this huge chunk of change for their wedding gift. And he's just like smoking and watching the screen. Like he's watching a baseball game. He just doesn't pay attention to her. And and her mother is Barbara Barry, by the way, one of the funniest people ever in movies ever.
Yes, she's really great, and she's in a small part. She does a lot with a small part.
She was in because Margot and I for Book vs. Movie we did Barefoot in the Park, which is a gorgeous movie. Have you ever seen it? I
have never seen it.
You got to see it someday. We were watching. There was a version HBO did the play in like '85. And then Barbara Barry played the mother, and is so fucking hilarious. You can get it on YouTube. But she was like she was Barney Miller's wife.
Yes.
She was in Breaking Away. She was the mother in that. She's just always just like does a little look with her eyes, and you're cracking up. Like she's like B. Arthur level, like funny. With just her face.
I'm looking up some of her stuff right here. Let's see. Yeah, Breaking Away, Private Benjamin. She was the mother.
Breaking Away is on our list, by the way.
It is on our list. I'm like, do they have like a let's see here. I'm looking up more. Barefoot in the Park. She was in Two of a Kind.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. She's just one of these people, like when you see her, you're like, oh yeah. Of course, it's her. Yeah, her. Yeah, all the men are very dismissive of her, and that is something that continues pretty much throughout the whole movie. You know what? First of all, I want to say Goldie Hawn is adorable in this movie. She's gorgeous. Everybody drink.
I mean, and there's times where like they don't put a lot of makeup on her.
Yeah.
I mean, her hair's kind of rough or she's in the rain or something, but she's always beautiful. And that figure is to die for. Albert Brooks, I was looking at her. She's in her place. Like, look at that ass. I'm like, I'm looking at that ass.
We're all looking at that ass.
I'm a cis straight lady. And I'm like, that's an ass. That's like, I get it. That's what, yeah. She's privileged. She's in the Philadelphia area. She's very privileged. She cares about her nails. She cares about the fabric being mushroom colored for her husband's room. It's just so 70s. And all these little things. And then her husband dies on her, and everybody acts like, well, find somebody else because we don't want to deal with you anymore. And she calls this late night radio show and talks about her life. And a guy calls in and says, I know I could give you purpose. come and meet me at this location. So she shows up, and it's Harry Dean Stanton, and he's just pitching her to join the Army. And he shows her Monterey Bay.
It's so, it's like such a fucking lie.
Which is where the Navy is, by the way. That's not really where the Army is, because you have your own condos, you'll get in great shape, you'll figure your stuff out. And she's like, well, that sounds perfect.
Yeah.
So she signs up for it. And then this is like, once again, like an hour and a half comedies. Like they just like get to the point.
Yes. So
and get going.
He pitches it. It's like a spa. You can leave when you want to. Like he just fully lies to her.
Bullshits her.
Yeah. And, so she signs up. She takes the pledge. She gets on the bus, falls asleep on the bus, immediately discovers the Army is not a spa.
Right.
She can't even do a push-up, and she's like walking around in her dress and her heels, and she's like, where are all the yachts? Like
Eileen Brennan, by the way.
I love Eileen
if y'all
Brennan.
love her from the Clue movie.
Yes. I'm determined to have a good time.
In this movie, she is funny as shit.
She's so funny.
And she makes choices that a lot of people wouldn't. I don't know. She just makes these really weird and then she and Goldie Hawn were good friends, so maybe they had like a good rapport. But the way she just laughs at her, like when Goldie Hawn's like, why do we have to wear green? And why don't they do this and that? And she's like, oh, really? Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Show me your toothbrush. Show me your toothbrush. So this movie also, like, in the 80s, there was like a ton of these movies where like people joined the military
so many,
like, because like Stripes came out like the next year, and then we get like things like drama ones, right? So it's like Officer and a Gentleman. That movie's fucked up, and Biloxi Blues comes out. That's what, like 87 or 88. Like
there's like Iron Eagle. There's it was like everybody forgot about the Vietnam War and these movies about the Army and the Navy being bummers.
Or Police Academy. There's like Police Academy movies. It's like the same thing. It's like these like fish out of water, enrolling and registering for military, the police,
organizations that are really strict.
Yes.
Have strict codes of conduct. So you put somebody really funny, which it works, right?
Yes.
It is. But she shows up and there's a woman there that like isn't there because she would have gone to jail if she hadn't. And which, by the way, the Army does. By the way, I know this
still,
for a fact.
Yes,
they still do this.
Yes,
but I loved her. She wore red underwear and everything. But she's a smart mouth. Mary Kay Place, beautiful.
Yes, so beautiful. And then PJ Souls
and that horrible wig they made her wear.
Yes, because they didn't want another blonde in the movie, and
which I get. But we should say this: Goldie Hawn's the executive producer here.
Yeah,
like, she calls the shots.
She was the big boss. She was this the first one she produced too? I think?
First one.
Yeah,
and she was pregnant with Kate when they were putting this together. Yep,
I didn't know that part.
Yeah, so we're really connecting the dots here.
Craig T. Nelson shows up as a drill sergeant who, like...
I have the hots for him. I know he's an asshole, but I have the hots for him.
Well, I love him from Poltergeist always.
Yes, exactly. And Coach.
Yes, and he definitely, like, every movie or TV show in the 80s had a Craig T. Nelson. So he's the drill sergeant I guess like of another regiment or whatever. And he instantly hits on Eileen Brennan. And it works. You'd think she was a little smarter than that, but that's okay. Whatever. So Judy, Goldie Hawn, she's doing her basic training, and she can't do any of it. We get the montage, right, where she can't climb a wall. She runs kind of silly, like
with her hands.
Yeah, with her hand. By the way, I run
close to her chest.
I run like that. She's slower than everyone. She vomits to get out of running. She like makes herself throw up. And I love the part where she actually tries to escape and she gets caught in the barbed wire fence like an animal. Basically, she's all tangled up in the fence, and because of that, they punish the entire troop and make them all walk in the rain, marching in the rain. And that's when her parents show up and they're like, it's so awful because the dad's like, you're stupid. basically.
Right.
Like, you're an idiot. We've told people that you're temporarily insane. You're incapable of making your own decisions. So, you know, we're getting you out of the army and you can come home with us. And that's when she does a flip. Like, and she's like,
fuck that.
Yeah, like, I think I'll stay. And she like goes all in on the army and like starts really applying herself. They show her like making her bed all tight and like doing all the running, and she wins over her fellow cadets. Like, she makes friends, and I love that. You know, the movie sometimes reminded me of Legally Blonde.
It's a lot of those tropes. Like, she finds herself and she just digs down and she realizes she's smarter and tougher than she gave herself credit for.
Yeah.
And she becomes friends with these women that are from all parts of the country. I love the thing where they have that the two leagues are kind of playing against each other, two troops. And so the women are getting high. It's like an overnight trip and they're getting high and they're all like trading stories. Like, how many times have you been married? Like 2. What happened to the second one? He died on top of me. We were making love. They're like, damn.
What's fascinating to me about that scene is they're smoking pot and they're telling stories about who there has actually had an orgasm. And almost none of them have. And it's like, this is a thing that, like, first of all, I don't feel like that's something that people talk about in movies where it's like, how often do you have sex or how many people have you had sex with? But this is like an actual conversation about orgasms. And
which is so funny because we talked about orgasms in our last episode of What a
Yes,
Creep.
we did.
We talked all about sex. Yeah.
Yes. And there's, you know, one girl's like, I think I did, or I almost did, or, you know, and there's even like a reference later where like she finally, like she like hooks up with Goldie Hawn's character hooks up with Armand Assante, and she's like, that's what I've been faking all these years. It's like such a great line, but it's so, something about that conversation really stood out to me is, one, a woman was involved in this script because this is not what a dude would write. Like, a woman obviously wrote that thing. And it's just not a conversation that women have unless that's kind of what the movie's about. Like, if it was like a sex movie, if it was about like getting laid or whatever, then they would have this conversation. But it's in this, they're having this conversation in a movie about like a rich socialite who joins the army. Like, it's very strange. So they're in their like Super Bowl of basic training where they're like competing against the other team, and they catch some other cadets, and then they catch PJ Souls having sex with Craig D. Nelson. Busted. And Craig D. Nelson is supposed to be like, well, he's with Eileen Brennan. Like, I assume she thinks that's her boyfriend now.
Yeah.
And he's actually having sex with PJ Souls. I get it. She's PJ Souls.
PJ Souls is adorable, y'all.
She is. Everybody drink. She's adorable.
Yeah.
But Judy and her team end up winning because they're smart and they're crafty. They do this whole thing where they lie to everyone and say that the other team surrendered, and they all come out and they're like, suckers! And that's when they meet like the captain. Is he like a captain, a general, or whatever? And he's like super impressed with them, and they like take off in a helicopter, and he like tells them about the Thornbirds. Is that what they were called? Thornbirds, yes. Mm-hmm. And that's the like elite paratrooper unit. And they're like, ooh, interesting. Put that aside. Then they go to New Orleans, and she like immediately like hooks up with Armand Assante. Like, did you ever?
Yeah, and she's in her.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry.
No, you go.
She's wearing this adorable. We keep saying adorable. I mean, you can't talk about a Goldie Hawn movie and not say adorable about 10 times.
It's against the law.
It's against the law. She just shines everywhere. Her touch shines everywhere. But she's wearing this adorable outfit, and she meets Armand Assante, who's very cute.
Yes.
He was in Little Darlings, which we should cover one day.
Oh,
that movie's fucked up, but we should definitely check that out. It's a product of its time, 1980, and it's all about virginity.
Yeah, that's another movie that you think it's going to be one thing, and then is something
it's
else.
so beautiful at the end. It's really anyway. So he's French, I believe, right?
Yeah,
and
he's a French gynecologist. He knows his way around down there.
He does the job. That's what I've been faking all these years. And then
Such a good line.
And then he says, well, could you ever be stationed in Europe? And she gets stationed in Europe, and she works for this guy who sexually harasses her, and he keeps calling them girl cadets. It's very like throughout the movie that everyone's a girl.
Yeah.
And
no, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, there's this just because they're unusual, whatever. I mean, I'm kind of like, well, isn't everybody like 10 years older than they should be, like, to do this? And aren't they like all in their late 20s, early 30s? Like, this is usually filled with much younger people, but that's not the story they're telling. They're saying these people like are figuring their lives out moving forward. And so she gets stationed in Europe, and she starts seeing him. And she's also dealing with the sexual harassment of this creep, which also kind of sends her into a little bit of a spiral. Like, oh, it's another dude that just took advantage of her because she's pretty.
And that scene is really fucked up because she, at this point, feels like he has seen potential in her, and that's why he chose her. And she joins the Thornbirds, the like elite group. You know, she's gonna be a paratrooper, even though she's petrified of jumping out of the plane. And like they go up in the plane, and when she doesn't jump, he then proceeds to try to rape her. Like, she actually uses the word rape. Again, another thing in this movie that you're like, what the fuck? Like, this is not where you think this movie's going. He fully tries to rape her, and she's like, fuck that, jumps out of the plane. She would rather jump out of a plane than have sex with this dude. And as she should, because he's fucking married and he's trying to rape her. And because he's the creep, she has to transfer to another post. Like, I would have preferred she report him, but that's not what this movie's going to do.
Also, nobody's going to do anything. We know this.
Yeah.
So she's in Europe now, and the good thing is that Armand Assante lives there, so she can continue to see him. But as soon as they start seeing each other, she suspects that he's boinking all these women in his life.
Yeah.
Like the maid that works in his home.
The terrible maid. Terrible.
Yes. Like, she's hot, and she's like not good at what she does. Like, of course he's fucking her, but she asks him, he denies it and gaslights her.
Mm-hmm.
And he's getting over a breakup with a woman named Claire.
Yes.
And he's always talking about Claire. And one day he sees a woman in Paris that has this reddish hair. And he says to Goldie Hawn, you need to get that hair. That look like Claire. You need hair color like that. And she gets it. And then I told you, like, I started posting. We're like, holy shit, she looks like Shelley Long now.
Yeah.
In Troop Beverly Hills. And exactly. I put it on Brooklyn Fit Chick on Instagram. Check it out. They could be twins.
So I thought somebody commented that the costume designer is the same.
The same.
Yeah.
Which might have been like Shelley Long said, let's get the guy who worked with, on.
Yeah, maybe.
Benjamin.
It is
perfect sense.
Uncanny resemblance.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they get engaged.
That guy was a creep, by the way. The first red flag should have been when he yelled at his dog. And his dog Max. Damn it, Max.
She's gonna marry him.
Yes.
And so she's going to give up all this stuff to marry this gynecologist and live in Paris, I guess. And she invites her parents out and everybody. And that's when she suspects, like, she still suspects that he's sleeping with the maid and that he's not honest with her. And then just as they're about to go down the aisle to get married on their wedding day, she's in her outfit and everything, he admits to her that he did sleep with the maid. So it was just and then he says, but you're crazy and just do this thing. Like, come on, everybody's here. Don't embarrass yourself.
Yeah.
You're making a fool of yourself. You're being stupid is what he says.
Yeah, and he makes her sign a prenup, which, is fine. People sign prenups, but it's all in French. She doesn't understand what she's signing. It
was unusual at the time in the movie.
And the ceremony is also all in French. So I was like, she doesn't understand it. And the minute she gets engaged, like, she instantly starts, like, she leaves the army and she instantly reverts to, like, her old ways. Like she's now running
shopping.
She's shopping and running his life and doing things for him. And she's just not herself anymore. And one of the other cadets, I think it's Mary Kay Place, says to her, like, you were back to your weird ways. I think she calls it her weird ways.
Yeah.
Like it's, yeah,
I don't recognize you. Yeah.
Yeah, but she also is like, she knows in her gut that something is wrong because she's not that person anymore. And
right.
Go ahead.
So she's at the, this is my favorite scene, is this wedding. I remember the first time I saw it, cracking myself up. My mom and I watched it together, cracking up. But she's like with her husband, she's like, you know what? Right after about the point they're giving the vows, she says, I think I want to break up now. And he's like, what? What?
I know it's
How
not
dare
great
you?
timing.
He starts yelling her. And then she goes, honey, look, there's Claire. And he looks over like, what? And then he turns back and she pops him in the face and then says, don't ever call me stupid.
Yeah.
And then she just starts to walk out and her mother faints. She says, Dad, Mommy's fainting. And she just takes off and throws off her veil. And that's that.
And
like,
that's
she's just, it's perfect.
It's perfect. It's really, really good. I haven't seen this movie in a long time. I was happy to rewatch it. I love that ending. It's an I choose me moment.
She says, Howard, you're a schmuck.
You're a schmuck. You call me a schmuck?
She slept with you the first night, true. Such an asshole.
Such an asshole. Like she chooses herself at the end and walks away. And that way, again, it reminds me of what Legally Blonde would become later. Because she chooses herself at the end. I mean, Luke Wilson is there, but they're not. He's not the driving force behind everything. And I like this ending very much. She does she does all these things. Like, again, you think it's going to be just fish out of water, but she, I don't know, finds her own purpose. She gets a job she likes. She liked her army job because she got a job in purchasing. She's like, I'm really good at shopping. Like, you know, she was traveling the world. She made friends. Like, it's really good. This is a really good movie. I'm surprised more people don't talk about this one.
I guess if they feel like it's very 80s, but I don't know. It feels very fresh to me. I mean, it's still funny.
Yeah.
And she's so great in it.
She's so great. This is like a perfect vehicle for Goldie Hawn. Like, made for her, obviously. And it works. It won the Writers Guild Award for Best Comedy Written for the Screen, which I think is pretty cool. Mm-hmm. And Goldie Hawn was nominated for Best Actress, which rarely happens for comedy.
In comedies, yeah.
Yeah, and Eileen Brennan was also nominated for Supporting Actress.
And she's amazing.
She's so good.
She's so good.
So I thought you might like to hear who the other people were that were nominated.
Yes, I would.
Okay. So Jenna Rollins for Gloria.
It's a good movie.
Yeah, I've never seen that one. Oh, this next one I also have never seen, and people kind of blows their mind, I think, when they say I haven't seen it. Mary Tyler Moore for Ordinary People.
You've never seen Ordinary People?
No.
Oh my God, that movie made me cry my eyes out.
Yeah, maybe I should watch it sometime.
Yeah, it's intense.
Yeah. That I don't, again, I guess that's not one that like 9-year-old Sonia's like, cool, Ordinary People's on.
But Timothy Hutton was so cute.
So cute. That's correct. That's true.
Yeah, he's super hot. And I liked Judd
Hirsch.
Thank you, because that was the kind of therapist I wanted. I'm still looking for that kind of therapist. Like whatever he does and how he handles things, I'm like, that would have been good for me.
That's what we all need.
Yeah.
Ellen Burstyn for Resurrection.
Never seen it.
I have never seen Resurrection either. I wonder if I would like it. And then the winner was Sissy Spacek for Coal Miner's Daughter.
You know, you can't argue that.
No, she's really, really good in that movie.
She's really, really good.
And then for supporting actress is Diana Scarwid for Inside Moves.
Yeah.
I have never seen that one either. Is it
I can't remember if I don't know if I remember it or not. I've seen so many movies.
Yeah. Kathy Moriarty for Raging Bull.
I watched that movie once. I never want to see it again. I get everybody loves it, but it's just too intense for me.
Yeah. Well, there's movies that can be great, but it doesn't mean you want to watch them over and over.
Yeah.
And that's one of them. Ava Lee Gallian, I think, for Resurrection. I'm like, I'm going to open up Resurrection in a tab here because I'm like, do I want to see Resurrection?
I saw Resurrection, but not that one.
It's got, no, that's a different Resurrection. This one's got Sam Shepard in it, too. Yeah, the plot involves a woman who returns to life after dying momentarily in a car crash and finds that she has the power to heal people. Ooh, I'm intrigued.
Who's director?
Let's see. Daniel Petrie.
I'm interested.
I know, me too. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do some investigating on that one. Where'd I leave off? And then Eileen Brennan for Private Benjamin. And the winner was Mary Steenburgen for Melvin and Howard.
Oh, whatever. I like Mary Steenburgen, but...
Yeah.
Melvin and Howard's okay. But it's nothing like what's going on in Private Benjamin.
Correct.
Eileen Brennan is just next level.
She's just so fucking
everything.
Funny. She's so funny.
Yeah.
It was also nominated for Best Screenplay, Best Original Screenplay. The other movies were Fame.
And that screenplay was nominated?
Yes. Right? Brubaker?
That's Robert Redford. I think I even made my mom take me to that. It's about a guy that's a warden for a prison, and he goes undercover as a prisoner and then reforms the prison. It's not for children. Okay. Let's just say.
There's another one. This is a foreign movie. It's called My American Uncle.
I don't know
it. I don't know it. And then Private Benjamin. I'm all
okay.
I vote for Private Benjamin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to hear about the top 10 songs the week this came out?
No. Yes,
okay.
Of course I do.
Okay. This is a good list, y'all. So it's October 11th, 1980. Number 10, George Benson, Give Me the Night.
The song is
Such
awesome.
a good song. The Doobie Brothers, Real Love.
Real Love.
Wait till you hear this. Olivia Newton-John, The Electric Light Orchestra, Xanadu.
It's a good song.
Such a good song. Kenny Loggins, I'm All Right.
It couldn't get away from it with the Dancing Gopher from Caddyshack.
Love that song. Paul Simon, Late in the Evening. Great song.
That's a really good song. I love that song.
Eddie Rabbit, Driving My Life Away.
Remember when Eddie Rabbit was a thing?
He was cute.
He was.
Air Supply, All Out of Love.
Such a make-out song. Not for me because I was 9, but
yeah,
you could tell what it is when you listen to it.
The song is great. Number 3, Diana Ross, Upside Down.
That's a roller skating jam right there.
Holds up too. Barbara Streisand, Woman in Love. That's a good song.
I am a woman
in love. And number 1 song, Queen, Another One Bites the Dust.
Such a good song.
Dope ass song.
Yeah, I even love the Weird Owl remake. Another One Rides the Bus.
Rides the Bus. Yeah, of course.
Such a good one. Let's take a break and then we'll talk about what else we're dorking out about. What else are you dorking out about, my friend?
I decided to go back to what I used to do for another show that I worked on is that I'm keeping a list by my TV, in my living room. So when I'm watching something, I'm just going to write it down so I remember.
Smart.
And I watched a lot this week. So it's early January. The TV isn't great, but the movies are coming out.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw on HBO Max, The Menu.
Yes! That's on my list.
Loved it.
So good.
So amazing. So it's Ray Fiennes and it's Anna Taylor-Joy. Anya or Anna?
I think it's Anna.
Anna Taylor-Joy. I'm trying to think who else is in this movie. It's about these people that go to a restaurant, and the whole experience of the restaurant is, John Leguizamo.
Yes.
Who I haven't seen in forever.
I'm always happy to see John Leguizamo.
He's from Brooklyn, by the way.
Of course he
is. So all these different kinds of people, they're at this restaurant in the middle of kind of nowhere. And the whole thing is like, it's this dining experience that is the best ever, right? It's next level.
Yeah.
But the thing is that you have to eat what they bring you. There's no, you can't order from a menu. Like they just will tell you what it is, where you're going to eat. And Ray Fiennes is like the angriest chef you'll ever meet in your life. He's got some problems, y'all.
Yeah, he does. It's very like the kind of restaurant you would see on Chef's Table. Like very, very fancy, like thousands of dollars for like a plate of food. Very limited seating. I mean, there's like 10 people there or something. I forget.
Judith Light?
Oh, yes. Judith Light is in there. Oh. So good. God, this is such a good... This movie, like, I made my top 10 list for 2022, and the movie, like, shot up to number 2. I was like, did they make this movie just for me? Like, I just super love everything about it, but it's...
It's like a cooking thing, but it's a horror thing. It's also just about like people breaking down and what it would take for you to kind of lose your shit under what circumstances. There's death. There's like, it's an intense movie. Like if you have a hard time with suspense, like this is not going to make you feel great. It's very intense.
This is very much an Eat the Rich kind of movie too, where like, it's about like all of these people. They're not good people, let's just say. Almost all of them are not good people. So you're supposed to kind of enjoy where things go, I think. But the movie kind of stressed me out for sure, but in a good way.
But I found it very engaging. There's a scene where one of the guests gets a cheeseburger, and I've never in my life wanted to eat a cheeseburger.
Oh my God, that cheeseburger looks so good.
And you're vegan. Like, I was like, am I going to a cheeseburger tonight now?
And I love the relationship between, or I don't want to say relationship, that's not the right word, the dynamic between Anna Taylor-Joy and Ray Fiennes, like those characters, because she is someone who's invited at the last minute. So it's different. I don't think that's a spoiler. Like, and they have a very interesting back and forth that I really liked her character very much.
I like her a lot.
Yeah.
I find her very watchable. Ray Fiennes, I haven't enjoyed so much. I mean, I've always been a fan of his.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you told me the story or somebody else, but that they saw Ray Fiennes like soon after Schindler's List came out. And they were like, he just radiated charisma.
Yeah.
Like it was almost, you were almost blinded by it. And like this, I really felt it. Leguizamo's funny. He's great. He plays this movie star that's in all these cheesy kind of films, and he's trying to get his career back. Judith Light plays Ray Fiennes' mother. And Judith Light, I remember like when I was a kid watching Who's the Boss?
Yes.
And I know she was on a soap opera before
One Life to Live. She was
One Life to Live.
Yeah.
I've seen her on stage in New York. She's based here where I live, and she is so impressive. Like she can do anything.
You know what? She is like Holland Taylor. Like you are getting someone awesome when you get Judith Light. Like she's gonna fucking nail it every single time. She's always good, and she could do comedy and she can do drama, and she's really good in this movie. Like, well, first of all, everyone's really good in this movie.
Everyone's great.
The John Leguizamo character was cracking me up because the movie that everyone keeps talking about is like Calling Mr. Sunshine, and I was like, oh my God, it's supposed to be Patch Adams. And I don't know if you've ever seen Patch Adams.
No,
but that movie's fucking terrible. It's terrible. It could be someone's favorite movie, but I think it's fucking terrible. And I think most people hate Patch Adams. So,
Robin Williams hated Patch Adams. Philip Seymour Hoffman hated Patch Adams.
So,
and they were in Patch Adams.
So bad. And I am almost positive that calling Dr. Sunshine is supposed to be like I think it's supposed to invoke that feeling when you saw Patch Adams and you were like, fuck this movie. Like, so you could understand maybe why why people are angry at him just for like taking their money and wasting their time with calling Mr. Sunshine. Yeah. But it's really good. It reminds me of a movie that came out, I think in 94 or 95 called The Last Supper. Did you ever see that movie? I'm going to look it up because I want to make sure.
Who's in it?
Quite a few people. I remember Cameron Diaz is in it. Hold on. I need to make sure. Not the painting. I want to see the movie. Came out in 95. Here we go. I'm looking it up. The cast. Because it's small cast. It's Cameron Diaz, Ron Ellard, Annabeth Gish. Ellard, thank you. Annabeth Gish, Courtney B. Vance. And they all live together. They're roommates. They're like graduate students and they're roommates. And every Sunday night they have dinner and they invite a guest and they just like talk about politics or whatever. And they start arguing with people every Sunday night. And if they can't change their minds, they poison them. It's really,
I'm okay with that.
But the people they invite to the dinner there's like a whole line of like the stereotypes. So it's like, Mark Harmon shows up and he's basically a date rapist. And then it's like, Ron Perlman shows up and he's like a Rush Limbaugh, or like there's like a prudish like girl who's like, I just don't think they should be teaching sex ed in school. Like it's like all these like stereotypes of conservative stereotypes basically, and they're poisoning them and killing them. The movie reminded me a little bit of that. I actually like The Last Supper a lot. I think it's good.
I haven't seen that in a long time, but I liked the menu very much, and it's on HBO Max. And we're getting into Oscar season pretty soon. There's going to be the nomination, so I think a lot of these are out for that. I finally got around to seeing X with Mia Goth and Brittany Snow.
Yeah, what'd you think?
I loved it, but wish I saw it not at 10 o'clock at night.
No.
I had to go to bed, yes.
No.
I had very strange dreams. Sonia talked about this before. Mia Goth plays two roles that are, wow, she's good.
She's so good.
She's so fucking. Brittany Snow, like from American Dreams.
Yes!
Brittany Snow. And her husband was on that Netflix show. It was Selling Orange County or something.
Oh, I haven't watched that one.
Yeah, he was married to her, and then he basically is flirting with all these women in his office, and then she wound up divorcing him right after the show came out.
Good for her.
And I was like, oh man, like she had a really good career and blah blah blah. And then I saw this movie, I'm like, she's gonna be fine. Yeah, she's amazing.
She's so good in it. I like Brittany Snow very much. I liked American Dreams. I used to watch it.
Me too.
And she's in the Pitch Perfect 1 and 2, I think. She's really great in this. I like X because it's, I don't know, it feels like an old school horror movie, but it's modern at the same time.
It's shot beautifully.
Yeah.
The cinematography is amazing. The use of the space is really great. It's scary. It's weird as fuck.
Yes.
It gets very violent at the end, and I'm in. I'm going to see the others.
Yeah. What after that is Pearl, and Pearl is a very different movie that also stars Mia Goth, and I think you'll watch this one too and be like, holy shit, because she's so good. I'm like, who the fuck is this? I don't remember her from anything before this. She's really, really great. I'm so glad you liked it.
I loved it. I saw this right after I saw Resurrection, which is with Rebecca Hall. I had a night where I just freaked myself out. And then, Margaret, did you have bad dreams that night? Yeah, I did. Thanks for asking. So Resurrection, it's Rebecca Hall, and Tim Roth is a former lover.
Yeah.
or husband. I don't know which one, but it was an abusive relationship. He's older than her. She was like very young when they were involved. They have a daughter, and she's living up in Albany, New York, which not a lot of stuff takes place in Albany. So good on them for that. But I love Rebecca Hall. She's such an amazing actress.
She's so good.
Did you see Christine? Did you ever see the movie Christine?
No.
She plays, so there was a newscaster in Florida, and this is like early to mid 70s, like 73, 74, who died by suicide on the air.
Oh my God.
And there's no footage. I mean, like her family, but like she had this basically a nervous breakdown. And then there were 2 movies about her in the same year. And Rebecca Hall was in the one called Christine, and she's really, really good in it. She's really, she was a director in the movie Passing, which I really enjoyed.
Yes.
And I fought like hell to get an image from that to put her in my book because I was such a fan of hers. And so she's having an issue. She has a teenage daughter, and then this Tim Roth comes back into her life, and he's terrorizing her in the only way that Tim Roth can. And the ending, I'm not going to spoil. It's weird as fuck.
So weird.
Did you see it?
Yeah.
It's weird as fuck.
It's such a good movie, and Rebecca Hall is always amazing.
I mean,
and the ending is one of those endings where you're like, what the fuck?
What was the point of this? I don't know. She's great though.
Yeah, she's really great.
She's really great. I also saw, you could tell I listened to F This Movie for their top 10.
Yes, I did the same thing.
Because I was like, I didn't hear that. I don't know what that is. So Men I saw.
Yes, that's
stars Jessie Buckley, which is another like, what the fuck kind of movie.
That's another one where
wow.
Where I was all in, and then the end, I was like, WTF.
It's a horror movie. It's about this woman who leaves, another woman who leaves an abusive relationship, and she's staying in this Irish, is she in Ireland or England?
I think she's in England.
England. She's in this little cottage all to herself, and she's escaping a bad relationship, and she's trying to figure out her shit. And then there's this guy that plays multiple roles that I don't want to spoil anything, but goddamn, that's like a big, I mean, the way the movie ends is a big what the fuck moment. But I have to say, Jessie Buckley, she was in FX, she was in Fargo. And she was the best thing in that season. It was the Chris Rock season.
Oh,
which I wasn't too into.
I didn't finish that season.
She plays a nurse that's like a wackadoo that like drugs patients and stuff. And yeah, she was great. She was the best. I mean, and she's great in this. She's like the acting of like Rebecca Hall and Jessie Buckley and Mia Goth is like so next level compared to some of the movie stars like from our era.
These are the people that should be nominated and won't be nominated for anything because horror movies don't get nominated.
Right, because they want the plots to make sense, or they want it, or they don't want the gore. But
yeah,
I'm sorry, I love Julia Roberts, but come on,
yeah,
she can't be a Jessie Buckley. She could not be a Rebecca Hall.
No. And there's another Rebecca Hall movie that came out a couple of years ago that I just watched for the first time last year, and it was called The Night House.
Oh, I've never seen that one.
That one scared the shit out of me.
She's cool
because she's so good. She's so good.
Yeah.
That's another one that I was like, Rebecca Hall, I'm all in.
I'm all in with her. Trust me. Like I fought to get images for her because I'm just like, she's the shit.
Yep.
I saw a documentary called Love, Charlie. I don't know if you saw it.
It's on my list.
Charlie Trotter.
To see. I haven't watched it yet.
I remember he was a big deal. He was a chef from Chicago. He was on the Oprah show a lot. He was like one of the people that changed the game for everything. And I didn't know this. He died. I didn't realize he died.
Oh.
He died young. Yeah. I was like, holy shit, this is sad. And it's basically like his public image versus his private image, his private life, and how he wanted to run a restaurant, but he was not exactly Mr. Personable or great at managing things, and how the world of food changed from the time he got into it until, it became this huge thing, and then he lost it. And then he tried to come back and he didn't know who he was anymore.
Okay.
And and he wrote letters when he was in like 18 to like 20. He would travel a lot, and he had like a few close friends, and he would write to them like these long pages of stuff. And then he became a guy that like came across as so arrogant and cold. But when you see these letters and hear them read out loud, it's like he sounds like this really sweet person, just kind of awkward.
Yeah.
So I wonder, like, was he neurodivergent or something? Like, yeah. But it's very, I mean, if you're also, I'm just always interested in like those stories of people who like, they did this and then holy shit, everyone's doing that. And I do like watching those kind of stories. So, I saw The Banshee.
Oh yeah.
Fisherman.
Yes.
Weird. Another weird movie. I loved it, but god damn, I'm like, what happened to his fingers? Wait a second, I had to rewind.
There's a lot of movies that you don't think are gonna go there, and then they go there.
Yeah. And Colin Farrell is unbelievable.
He's
like
so good.
He's so beautiful.
Yes.
He's aging so beautifully.
He is.
And his co-star, I'm sorry,
Brendan Gleeson.
My friend Hiromi, he was in a movie that was it's based on a gangster from Ireland, and it was like the captain or the general. I think it's the general. And we'll do a story about it for What a Creep one day. But she got to take him around interviews for New York. And she was walking with him through Times Square, and it was his first time in New York City. And he made her stop because, Hiromi, stop. I need to take this in because you've been to Times Square. It's just very, it's very different from Ireland. And I always thought, like, I just always have like a fondness for him. Like you said, it was really sweet, really nice. And the character he plays, like, he's just mad at Colin Farrell, and they just stop being friends. And then everybody in the town gets involved. And it's great. It's really, really great. Very Irish.
Yeah, it's such a good movie though, about like how it feels appropriate to the time right now, because there's a lot of people who are just ending their friendships but they all have reasons. Yeah. You know, it's like maybe your friend has turned into a Trumper and you're all ew and you don't want to be friends with that person anymore, or maybe like COVID, you just decided you don't really talk to that person anymore, so you're not really going to be friends with them anymore. Everyone, people have their reasons. You've definitely ghosted on people before, and I just never seen it told this way. I don't know if I've ever.
It's a little town.
Yeah. Also, I don't know if I've seen a movie like this before that deals with something like this in this way.
Yeah. So I really liked that. I had to finish because I started it, but George and Tammy on Hulu. Bummer.
I had to finich it.
I had to finish it. One more left. I love Jessica Chastain and Michael
Shannon.
Shannon, thank you. Michael Sheen keeps popping up in my mouth, and I mean Shannon. I like them very much. I want them to do other things.
Yes.
But that one was a total fucking bummer.
Okay, I won't even start then.
No. I want to thank, I was in the Park Slope Patch.
Yeah!
Which is a big deal in my neighborhood for my book.
Awesome.
So if you look that up, they use my images and everything, which was really cool.
Rad.
And then Jen Shaw was sent to 6.5 years in prison for her bullshit.
I was gonna ask you, like, do you think that's long enough?
No. And she celebrated last night by going to dinner with like 20 people. And
she went to celebrate?
She went because she was supposed to get 10 years.
Okay.
And maybe knock off a couple for good behavior. And she's going to be on probation for 5 years.
Yeah.
And she's not going to be on the show anymore. There's just no way.
She can't be. What? They're going to follow her around in jail? I seriously doubt it. So,
but she might be in the same jail as Elizabeth Holmes. Think about that. Like our worlds colliding.
That is so weird. I mean,
but that's Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, by the way, if you're not aware of what we're talking about.
Yeah, she's sentenced to 6.5 years. Does that mean she'll probably get out in like 3?
She could, for good behavior, 3 or 4.
If she can I don't know. She's not known for her good behavior.
No. And she was saying to the judge, like, I realize now that I had a real emotional problem. And that's what really, I didn't realize how bad it was. And I didn't realize what I was doing. And it's like, she was in this shit right up to the day she was arrested.
Correct.
And they were brought before the feds before. So it's not like, anyway.
Yeah.
So no.
And when you read the stories about the victims,
it's horrifying.
It's horrible.
It's really horrible. Like, they just made people max out on their credit cards and then get more credit cards, and people had $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 in debt. For some people, that's not a lot. For some people, that's everything.
Yes.
And if you're like in your 60s and 70s, it's kind of hard to get a job to make that back.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
One person wound up homeless.
Yes, it's so awful.
It's awful. So supposedly she had to forfeit $6 million, and then she has to pay $3 million more in restitution. We'll see.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I wonder now, like, because her husband, we all like Coach Shaw, but he was a lawyer. He knows what's legal and not legal.
Yeah.
I wonder what he knew or what he thought was going on. I don't know. He wasn't on trial.
Correct.
But anyway, that's my stuff for the day. This week.
That's a lot of really, really good stuff. I'm glad that she got sentenced. Like, I've honestly, my sister and I were talking about this the other day. Like, Jen Shaw is actually a fun housewife sometimes. Like, when they go on these girls' trips, like, she goes all out.
Right.
You know, she drinks, she starts fights or whatever. In that way, she's a very entertaining housewife. But she also, like, she's so quick to, like, make herself a victim in situations where she's not a victim. It's frustrating to watch. So, in that way, every time she showed up on screen this season, I was like, bitch, please. Like, it was just very, very frustrating to watch her. Because you're like, you're super guilty. And this is...
She would scream, I'm innocent. Nobody gets it. And it's so hard to watch because she pled guilty in July. And there's a podcast I recommend if you're interested called The Bravo Docket, where they talk about reality celebrities and their lawsuits. And there are many of them.
So many.
But you learn a lot about like just like what people do in the world, and it's also good. Like if somebody asks you this is a warning sign, this is a red flag, it means they're doing that. And the victim impact statements for what she did, and then they read aloud like the emails and the texts that she and Stu Chains passed back and forth as they were trying to grab an extra $4,000 from someone who is 70 years old and has a 96-year-old father that's sick and a husband it's so fucked up. They tried to sell them programs to like create websites to sell things. Like, that's already, like, if you want to sell things online, you don't have to do all that crap. And made them think like, oh, you have to do this, this, and this, and then you can start selling things. And it's like, and they didn't know better.
It's not a victimless crime by any means.
No. And then these people, they would talk to them on the phone and just say like, why don't you apply for this credit card? And then there was, why don't you try this credit card? And they would do it online. I mean, they just to get an extra $4,000 from somebody.
It's awful.
It's disgusting.
And also, I'm frustrated that this whole season they teased who gave Heather a black eye, and she's not going to tell us.
I think she fell in the bathroom. I think she was drunk and like hit her face. That's what I think.
I'm all maybe. There's the theory that her and Jen were fucking around and Jen popped her one. And I'm like,
I think it's a combo.
It could be that too. But it's frustrating because it's like she's not sane, and that was teased all season long. And then I hate it when her and Whitney fight. I think it's frustrating. It's annoying that
I'm on my healing journey.
Like that other women in this group could be so fucking terrible to Heather, and she will forgive them and move on and won't do the same for Whitney.
And they're so also
shitty.
How terrified they are of Jen Shaw.
They're all terrified of her.
They're surrounded by cameras, and they're still like, I don't want to say anything. She'll come and get me. I'm
like, what are they going to do? Because they got rid of Jenny, they got rid of Mary, and now they're not going to have Jen. They're going to have to bring in new people. Are they going to bring in these friends of?
Angie's.
The Angies.
I think the Angies. I mean, if you go, because I worked with a client that wanted to, that had an event in Salt Lake City, and she said, I just want influencers, sexy moms, and like fitness people in Salt Lake City. I'm like, all right, I'll look it up. And turns out there's like 1 million of them.
Oh.
Because the Mormon culture, I don't want to paint everything with a big brush, but I will. You think that a religion that says you can't drink, you can't take mind-altering substances, you can't get tattoos, right?
Right.
But if you want tit surgery or you want, to facelift, if you want a ton of Botox, great, because you're trying to perfect yourself.
Oh.
So it's a perfectionism culture.
Got it.
And so like people don't just ski. They ski to like an Olympic level. They don't just do a spin class. They do the spin class that also has like weights and this and that attached to it. Like everything was so intense. And I would look up these people and try to, get in touch with them. And they had like 500,000 to 1 million followers.
Wow.
And I know it's astonishing. I mean, there are definitely people to go to, but here's the thing. They make a shitload of money without anybody knowing their real story.
Yeah.
I would never do this show.
No, never.
I would never. I'd be crying in a corner somewhere, like in a closet or something, like in a fetal position.
Oh, they wouldn't even keep me on the show if I was on the show. They'd be like, that bitch is boring. Boring.
Yeah, because I'm sitting there like, you're all crazy. Like, no, I'm not going to speak. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. What were we talking about?
Real Housewives.
Anyway, yes. And Lisa Rinna was fired from Beverly Hills.
Was she fired?
Fired. Oh, she was. No one is not fired from Beverly from Real Housewives.
Okay.
Never. And so I think it's a good thing. I mean, I hated Rinna the last couple of seasons, and sometimes you hate somebody and then they're gone and then you miss them because they're interesting. They stir the drink or whatever you want to say. They stir the pot. But I want to keep Garcelle and other people, and I think like Garcelle is she's got a Hulu series coming up. Like she's so next level, and Rinna's a loser.
She is a loser.
Her and Erica Jane are losers. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. It's also interesting, by the way, I've got it set up. Tuesday next week, Prince Harry's book's coming out, and he has a lot of opinions about Real Housewives. So I'm going to read the book.
Does he really?
He does, because Megan's a huge fan.
Oh, all right.
So he talks about his favorite housewives and why they're his favorite. So I'm like, okay, I'll do it just for that.
That's awesome. I will be curious to hear what you think of the book.
Yep.
Speaking of books, I downloaded Valerie Bertinelli's book, Enough Already.
I love that book.
And I've been listening to it. I don't listen to like a ton of books, but I've been listening to this one and I love it. Love it.
I love her.
Yeah. She, I think I saw something on Instagram or TikTok, and she's been very open about like her journeys. In general, she has been. But she is also like recently divorced. And so TikTok's like, you like divorce stuff? Here's Valerie Bertinelli. And I was like, I do like divorce stuff. So I downloaded her book and I just really, really love it. First of all, like she's reading her own book and she's really good at it. Like, surprise, she's very good at it. And she comes across like so warm and so friendly. And this whole book is about like accepting yourself. That's what she means by enough already. Like, I'm not getting on the scale anymore. I'm not doing this anymore, because she's like 60 or 61 now. And she's like, I'm not doing this. So it's about like accepting yourself as you age and like accepting yourself at the weight you're at and being happy. And I was like, that's what I want. So I started the book. I'm only like a couple of chapters into it, but I love it. Like, I super love it. Have you read all of her other ones? Because she's got many books.
I haven't read the cookbooks, but I've read a couple of her books in the past. I'm like a longtime fan.
Yeah.
Like, she's got me forever. Like, whatever she's doing, I'll pay attention.
like she just comes across as like so open and friendly, and there's a lot of stuff in the ones I've listened to so far about her relationship with Eddie Van Halen. And
that's such a heartbreaking thing.
Yeah.
Because they were soulmates.
That's what it sounds like.
But they were both so young when they got together.
Yeah.
And they got so whipped up into like fame and money and drugs and weirdness. Like if they had met at like 30 or 35 even, I think they probably would have had more time under their, they could have just, I don't know. He loved her.
Yeah.
And that when she talks about the last time she saw him and like her and Wolfie, her son, she calls him Wolfie. We're not supposed to call him Wolfie, but he and Wolfgang and her, and like his wife he was married. Like she had left earlier, and how Valerie had spent time with him alone and what he said to her. And I was like, oh, it's heartbreaking.
It is. It's absolutely. It's so sad. Fuck cancer. Seriously,
fuck cancer and fuck smoking, y'all. Sorry, but
don't do it.
Don't do it, please. He was a heavy smoker.
Yeah, it's sad. But I really, and her book, I'm listening to the audio, but she also like reads some recipes. I think every chapter ends with a recipe. So I'm also wondering if I would just like a Calm app thing where people read recipes, because I find it very relaxing.
That's a good idea, Sonia. Write that shit down.
I'm like, I really like it. I won't even eat what she's making. And I was like, I just like the 1 cup this, 1 cup that, stir until it's bubbly, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, that's very relaxing. Yeah, maybe I should do it. I'll write down some recipes and read them and record them. I'm late to the party on this one, but I recently started Dairy Girls.
It's a great show.
It's so fucking funny. It's on Netflix. I'm sure probably everyone's like, duh, hot take Mansfield. It's really funny. It is really funny. I just decided I needed a little more comedy in my life. So I've been watching Dairy Girls. I watch it on the treadmill. It gives me so much joy. I think those girls are hilarious. And James. Poor James. Like every time someone even likes James, they're like, ew, why would somebody like James? It just makes me laugh every time. So good. I also watched the documentary Fair Play, and I'm going to look it up right now because I want to make sure I get the names right. It is directed by Jennifer Siebel Newsom. That's Gavin Newsom's wife. And it's based on the book by Eve Rodsky. And it's called Fair Play, and it's about like the work dynamic in people's homes. So it's mainly like they talk to same-sex couples as well, because there's something to learn there. But it's mainly the difference between like straight couples, like men and women. Like they're both working, but only the women do a majority of the housework. And that dudes just like live their lives, and they're like, I don't know, the dish fairy came and did all the dishes or whatever. And so it's about like that difference. And they interview like same-sex couples, because this is not a thing, obviously, in their relationship. So how do they like divide up their work? How do things get done? And I just thought it was very interesting. It was about like the unpaid work that women do and how that's valuable for society, and how we just like how we don't have childcare in this country, or right. All of these things, or like we don't even have like federal like maternity leave, like family leave, things like that. Like we're such a garbage country, because why would we pay for those things when we can not pay women to do it? Basically is why we don't have those things. It is very, very interesting about just the dynamic in households. And as someone who lives alone now, it doesn't necessarily apply to me, but I am raising a boy, and I want him to know that you need to do shit too. It's not women's work to just like do the laundry and shit like that. So I imagine there's a lot of couples who would benefit from watching this. There's a a part of the documentary where the author is talking about how she went out to brunch with a couple of her married friends, and they couldn't even make it through the brunch without like getting a million texts from their husbands. And they're just like, where is Sarah's birthday present for the thing? Where's this? Where's that? How do I blah, blah, blah? Like these incompetent partners who just don't know how to do anything. I'm just like,
and I'm sure she told them before she left.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm sure she told both of them, and the kid and the husband, and they're both just like, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's what she just always does. I know, that's infuriating.
Yeah, and so they interview like, the author of the book is the main focus, but they also interview Melinda Gates and my favorite, my current hero, Katie Porter, Representative Katie Porter, pictured yesterday reading The Art of Not Giving a Fuck on the floor while they voted for Speaker of the House.
And Kevin McCarthy just kind of gave everything away to like 5 lunatics.
God, it's so fucking gross. It's so gross.
It's so gross. I'm just, yeah.
Yeah, and I also watched the new Chelsea Handler stand-up on Netflix, Revolution.
Was it good?
It's really funny. I'm not even, like, I didn't really watch Chelsea Handler's show. I haven't read her other books. Like, I see her, like, Instagrams and TikToks, and I've seen clips. I know who Chelsea Handler is. But I watched this. I thought it was really, really funny. It was about, like, dealing with COVID, being, like, a single person with no children and no responsibilities during COVID. There is this kind of awkward thing around the end where she starts talking about her relationship with Joy. What's that guy's last name?
Joy?
Joy Coy. Yeah, Joy Coy. Yes. Who I believe is also directing the special, and she just talks about how awesome he is and how much in love they are and all this. And it's like
they broke up,
and then they broke up since this aired. And there's like she puts some titles over the end where it's like, I still believe in love. You know, it's just this one didn't work out or whatever. But like, it's a lot of just talking about like white male privilege and her just trying to get laid during COVID. It was really funny. It made me laugh. And she's also like a big pet lover. So she talks about like her dogs, and I don't know, something about it fucking clicked for me. I think she's really funny. Have you read her books?
No, I have friends that were like addicted to her books. I'd seen her show a few times. I've heard some stuff about her. She's not always my favorite, but I do enjoy the don't give a fuck attitude she kind of exudes. One of her birthdays, she's really into skiing. She's really good at it. Mm-hmm. So she's skiing without poles, topless, and a joint in one hand and a drink in the other, like scotch or something.
Yeah.
And she's like, happy birthday to me. And that was it.
Yeah.
And I kind of love that.
Yeah. She makes a mention of something like that in here about how she just likes getting high and skiing and fucking, I think. Basically, she's all, those are my hobbies or something like that.
Yeah. And when she's doing it, you're like, yeah, I get it.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's really fun. She has a whole thing about like her sister and her sister's kids coming to stay with her during COVID, and it really cracked me up. I mean, it's like an hour long. It's nothing. It's on Netflix.
It should never be longer than that, by the way.
No. It shouldn't. No, if it's longer than that, what are you doing?
Yeah.
No.
No.
I think that's everything on my list.
I wanted to add something because I'm not sure if I remember to say it last week, but Stephen King Fairy Tale, I've been listening to it, the audiobook. I have the hard copy because I always do. It's really good. And it's, if you like Stephen King, it's one of his best in a long time.
Ooh, okay.
And there's a dog in it that's really great.
Oh, nothing.
And it's
tell me off mic if anything happens to the dog, because then
he's there to rescue the dog, basically.
Okay.
And the dog is a big character.
Okay. Phew.
Yeah.
I have to go to doesthedogdie.com.
I know. I don't know if this has been, I'm sure it's been sold to be made into a movie, but yeah, I mean, he knows how to pull your heartstrings. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good one. That's a good one to put on the list. All right. Let's bring this in for a landing then. Where can people find you, my friend, on the internet?
You can find me at Brooklyn Fit Chick for Twitter and Instagram. My site is brooklynfitchick.com. And then I am on TikTok at my name, Margot Donahue.
And if you like the sound of our voices, and I assume you do, we also co-host a podcast called What a Creep, where we talk about creeps of the past and the present. Right now, we're talking about Nicole Daedon from One Taste right here in San Francisco. It's a big ew. She's really creepy. You can find me at thesoniashow.com and The Sonia Show on Twitter and Instagram and the TikTok. And if you like our show, you could email us at dorkingoutshow@gmail.com and we'll send you some stickers. We also take requests. So if you have a request, send it our way like we did Ruthless People last week. That was a request. Yeah. And if you want to give us a couple of stars wherever you listen to your podcasts, that would be super awesome. It helps us find our people, and we want to find our people. Thanks for talking about Private Benjamin with me. This was super fun.
This was the best.
What a good surprise.
What a wonderful surprise. We all deserve it, and I'm gonna go and not do some push-ups now.
Now I know what